So let me start first by explaining a little bit what the Center for the Study of African Economies is. We are a research center. We're based in the economics department of the University of Oxford. We are, as a result, primarily and almost exclusively economists working on issues to do with African economic and social development. We're always keen to get new talent in and get new people to join us and to join us in graduate studies. And so we want to talk to you about um, both the programs involved and how you can apply and the scholarships that are available.
Basically, there's three different programs that you can apply for in the economics department. There's the MPhil, which is sort of the master's level research master's program that takes 2 years. There's the joint MPhil DPhil, which is a sort of 2-year MPhil plus then guaranteed progression onto the 3 to 4-year DPhil or PhD. And then there's the DPhil program directly, which is a 3 to 4-year program where you directly go to the research stage.
The most important part that you actually gain admission to the economics department. Otherwise, we're not of much help. This is a very competitive program, very hard to get into. You'll need to be really getting good grades in your pre-training as an undergraduate.
Okay, so then, what does an application entail and what are we looking for? So the first one is this sort of standardized tests requirements. So there's the GRE, there's the English language requirements. I think it's the ELTS. But one thing that's really important is that you do these early. Many of these tests you can do multiple times, and in fact, most people do these tests multiple times in order to get the really, really high score required for us to consider you.
Last year, we couldn't allocate a scholarship to quite a few candidates because they didn't manage to take the GRE test in time. And I also want to say, I took it many years ago. In any case, I do remember practicing and practicing and practicing for it before, and my own score was going up when I was doing the trial runs. And I want to encourage you as well. This is not a test you simply wake up one morning and you go and take, because then there's no way you will make the required mark, even if you're a mathematical genius, because you just have to be used to doing that test. Okay, other requirements that I want to emphasize is language requirements. Studied one of your degrees in English somewhere is not going to be enough. The exception is, again, those who've taken the degree in the UK, in Ireland, and probably those people who've taken a degree in the US, for example, doing it. But otherwise, just look very carefully. And if you're in doubt, you may need to email the admissions Office of Economics to check, is this going to be sufficient, what you have. Maybe the final thing or the two more things quickly to pick up on, it's these references. I often read references from people that have taught you that are basically incredibly bland and doesn't tell us anything. Think carefully about how you get the references, and do lean on the people that write these letters, that they matter, that they really matter. We get letters from people that have studied in American universities, from Nobel Prize winners that write it for their undergraduate economists, with the incredible glowing information that I'm sure they never got themselves, but incredibly positive ones. People encourage your reference writers to really put a little bit of effort in it, what to highlight, and especially, again, that you're able to do a high quality quantitative research degree, research oriented degree. That's then really important.
Increasingly, applicants will have done some research prior to applying, either as part of an international research team, as part of a pre-doc, sort of a pre-doctoral program where you work as a research assistant for a year or two. Perhaps you've worked with a research institute or in existing research projects or IPA or JPEL or a survey company. So there's lots of different ways in which people now come into these kind of pathways. But such kind of experience is always extremely helpful, of course, for us in order to sort of see that you're cut out for research and that you actually want to do that. Then there's typically also a sort of research statement or a personal statement. But it's for you to give us a sense that you're broadly and openly interested in various aspects of economics, maybe with a sort of certain direction. Is it going to be more empirical or theoretical, or how do you think, how do you approach problems, or what drew you to economics? What kind of questions are you interested in? But signal your broad interest in economics. Your enthusiasm for wanting to do research, your technical background and approach, but maybe a bit less so, a specific paper or not. That's really not sort of the most important one.
Don't do it on ChatGPT only because it's unfortunately so clear that AI is generating these things. We're getting them already. It's deeply frustrating because we have very strong candidates where it is just a ChatGPT piece and say, look, we recognize this.
What will distinguish yourself at this stage is very, very good quantitative mathematical background. Typically, this means some sort of proof-based coursework in a sort of mathematically challenging subject. If this were at Oxford, it would be some sort of real analysis, microeconomic analysis, or further econometrics at undergraduate level that would sort of show us that you would cope with the sort of difficult technical material at the first year level. I mentioned this because the first year of the MPhil is really technically quite rigorous, and in order for us to sort of be confident that you could pass that and then move beyond and thrive in our program, that's something we look for really, really carefully. So try to get as much preparation there as you can, and also highlight these strengths in your materials if you have them.
The deadline to be considered for these scholarships is going to be the 27th of January 2026. That sounds like a long time away, but we're holding this webinar now because it will take quite a bit of time before you have everything together that will be required for this application. So I can say an awful lot of things, but I'm going to also to start with emphasize that you must check our website. The CSAE website, the website of the Center for the Study of African Economies, has the key details, but also the key links to guide you towards the right places and to get further information about the various programs.